Hey friends, recently I've been on the search for an affordable mini multi-tool with some of the tools that I need for my indoor tinkering projects. I've got plenty of outdoor tools, my Mora knives, folding saws, etc. But for indoors, I really use scissors, pliers, wire cutters, and a small knife all the time like this Spyderco Honeybee, I believe that one is. But I use those all the time. So got a Swiss Army knife here for comparison at 3.5 inches. The mini Swiss Army knife at just over 2 inches, 2 1/4. And you can see that this mini sailor, the next tool mini sailor coming in here at about 2.5 inches. So that's what I picked up recently for just over 20 bucks. And let's do a review of this. As mentioned, I really need scissors. And now this is a perfect small scissors on the Swiss Army knife. Very, very sharp, very good. And, you know, let's just remove some stitching here in this leather. These are very sharp and they're really precise as well. So I really enjoyed using those scissors. So I wanted something similar in this tool. So let's just open up with that. Now the first problem with the next tool mini sailor is that the scissor design has this weird fold out thing. So they're not getting as much real estate, if you will, on the blade aspect. See how those fold in just like that? With this kludgy design that next tool has done, you can't maximize all of that area where you could get the blade folding in this way. I can't really demonstrate all the way down, but suffice to say, I'm losing about 1 centimeter of blade length because of this kludgy design. Let's go in and see what this is like on the leather. I've already tried this before the video, and I can tell you I am not impressed with the results on how awkward it is to use this thing. And it does not cut as well. As you can see, it's working, but that metal right there is digging into my thumb as I'm scissoring. What's interesting is the larger size of this next tool, the blade size is actually larger on the mini Swiss Army knife. So that's a bummer as far as, you know, what I was looking for to have a good functioning scissors on a mini multi-tool. Does it work? Yeah. Is it good? No, not really. The pliers seem good. They're apparently made out of this. The tool steel on here is 420 J2 on the pliers and J1 on the rest of the tools here, which is a budget tool steel. The scales feel pretty nice on this. They're powder coated aluminum scales that actually feel very comfortable. The pliers are good. I'll demonstrate the wire cutter here for you on this one. These seem fairly sharp. Always use eye protection when you're cutting wire. And make sure you get your fingers out of the way. That's important consideration. And there you go. Let's try it this way. So that's rubber coated steel wire. You can see it goes through that. Not too much problem. Let's see how that compares to my wire cutters. Really not that much different for that kind of thin wire, which is most of the kind of stuff I'm using. All right, guys, let's move around and let's move along and pull out the rest of the tools. You've got a can and bottle opener here. I have tested the can opener. That's a nice sharp tip there, and it did get through my can of beans pretty well, but I have to say not nearly as well as the can opener on my Victorinox Swiss Army knife. I mean, not even close. The Victorinox is just a much more solid cut into the can. And but anyway, it's kind of cool how they integrated both tools there on one bar. The knife I had to sharpen up. It's a clip point as opposed to the drop points on most of these knives. I did have to sharpen it up on a stone. Works fairly well. Let's see if we can give you guys a test here on a piece of hard black cherry wood. This is not really what this knife is intended for, but you can see that it will cut into very dry hardwood. So for your light projects, you know, and that's what's really important about this are those powder coated aluminum scales, because that's not terribly uncomfortable. Of course, it's not as comfortable as using my Mora knife or an Opinel, for example, but it's definitely more comfortable than these cheapo all metal hard edge multi-tools. So I would give this an upgrade over those the cheapest mini multi-tools. All right, let's move on here. We already showed you that. Showed you the scissors, flathead screwdriver, and Phillips head screwdriver, which has like a two-dimensional design. I've tested both of these out. There really doesn't seem to be a problem with using these. It's not as robust as a full-headed Phillips head. I mean, it's not even really close. So you may be at risk at stripping some screws, but I suppose in a pinch it works. It would not be my daily Phillips head driver, I'll tell you that though. I mean, I can feel it even slipping right there, whereas a traditional Phillips head, like even on these cheapo hardware store tools right here, I mean, that'll grip right on there like so much more tight. I can just feel that within 1 second, literally. And I mean, these things are great, you know, these pen models. So not really impressed with that. The flathead works just fine. And then they have a SIM card holder underneath the flathead, which, you know, I'm not really sure how relevant that is today with the phone, with the size of the phone memories. However, I was using this the other day to clean some lint out of a speaker in my phone. The holder loop on this knife is in a really bad location. It sits underneath the Phillips heads. So check this out. If you've got any kind of carabiner or cordage, let's say, on the holder here, you cannot deploy that Phillips head all the way out. See that? You're never going to get that all the way out. And that's thin wire. I mean, if you wanted to use cordage, I mean, that's what I was doing, and just, you know, forget it. You'd have to take that out to really bring this back all the way. So those are two huge design flaws with the scissors and the holder loop of the behind the Phillips head as it compared to a Swiss Army knife, where the holder loop is at the end of the knife. It does not get in the way of any of the blades or any of the tools that come out, even of the end here. Does not encumber that in any way on the holder loop, nor does it even on the mini. I mean, nothing gets in the way there. We've got hex or Allen key fastening here, which I suppose is nice for removing tools or maybe upgrading tools. I'm not really sure. Usually the cheapos are just riveted. I'm still on the search for the perfect mini multi-tool. If you would post your comments below, it'd be much appreciated. As for, you know, pliers, scissors, good build quality, well thought out design. I'm still looking, but hopefully this will help some of you as you're making your own determination. As there's surprisingly not many mini multi-tools out there to choose from, and I'm still looking. So look forward to hearing your comments below.